Black Claw, Astro, A True Love by Swedish Down. When Black Claw was little, he often get much very well with his friends and his family. Rather from many others, his friends often called him hybrid, because he was half Centaur, half Alicorn, half Draconicus, but he didn't mind that, and even he loved to spend much time with his father, Discord, trying to practice his magic and how to control it. When he was about 4 to 5 years old, he had very much trouble to control all of his powers. Sometimes when he tried to use his powers, it often backfired, either on him or his family or his friends, but luckily for no one, other opponents were seriously hurt. Most all of them were only shocked or bothered with some explosion or just terrified. Also, this transformation spell often went a little bit wrong. One time when he was going to transform into a rock, but instead for a rock, he turned into a tree. Then he was going to transform into a dog, but then he transformed himself to a bear, and that meant scare all of his friends, but he managed to calm them down, explain what was going on. And from that moment, he focused all his valuable time to train with his father and his sister at the same time. When he was about 10 and 12, he had finally controlled all of his transformation spells and others. He was much compared to his father. Discord once used to use his powers to prank and even bring chaos, but Black Claw didn't do it. He in fact used all of his powers to help others, to save them from any disaster or any danger, but he also used his transformation powers at the local hospital to help the fellows and colts there, to cheer them up. So some of them were there for days, weeks, and months. So he went there as a volunteer to help, to spread happiness. And his parents was very much grateful that he used his powers for something good. But he even spends much time with his grandmother, Galaxy Star, and his grandfather, Terek. Even by the time Terek has got used to have grandchildren. But for the most part, Black Claw has grateful to have so many good friends. But there was just one thing that he missed the most: to share all the love he had, compassion, and passion with some other pony. Even he had dated a few friends in school, but often it's said that they were not in the same in for a long-term relationship, just for dating. And that took Black Claw very much hard to hear. But he understood that most of his friends were not just into any commitment right now, and he was in early teens by the time. When he was about 15 to 18, he had been dating a mare for at least a couple of months, and her name was actually Sunny Star. Sunny Star was a newly moved to Ponyville for a few months ago, and she was much as like him. She felt an outsider, but at the same time she had no friends because she was so very, very shy. So Black Claw offered her to be your friend, and he shared her up often, many times with his special chaotic powers, and he told her who her parents were and who grandparents were. And as a surprise to him, he was prepared for him that she would be screaming and running back home. But since she had heard about Discord and Terek has been reformed and has actually helped the Pony Society for years, so she was not against it. She lived with her mother in nearby Sugarcup Corner, but then, one day, he actually told her that he loved her, and she maybe wanted to be his girlfriend or something. And she said actually yes about it. But then, something did happen. Less than a year later, Sunny Star told Black Claw that her mother has gotten a work opportunity in Trottingham, and they had to move there because she couldn't go back and forward from Trottingham to Ponyville. And Black Claw understood that she wanted to move with her mother, but they tried to at least be together even after she moved. They tried to visit each other as often as they could, but after a while, Black Claw didn't realize this one did not want to work as much, so the both of them agreed it won't work. So they both decided to end up their relationship, but they remained as friends. They did visit each other from time to time, even became pen pals for even. But since after he broke up with Sunny Star, he felt more lonely now. Even his friends was there to cheer him up, as he did for them. But for the most part, even he said to his friends that he wanted to be alone for a while. But they also said to him, maybe should you go out to find another mare to date with? And he also said back, yeah, maybe, but not right now. I'm just trying to get over from Sunny Star. And he explained that to them. So for the next couple of days afterwards, he often went by himself, either from town or flying on the sky using his magic. But sometimes his friends often wanted to talk to him about it, maybe. But then he used the transformation spells to either transform into a bird or rock or tree or anything that to hide from his friends. Even he wanted to be with them, but he just wanted to be alone for some time. He wondered, will he ever find his special zone pony at all? But everything was going to change with the next couple of weeks. One evening, it was a very rainy weather, almost like a storm. It was a very high wind. There was much rain. So Black Claw was at home with his family, playing cards or reading books or something. But when he was at the living room with his parents and his sister, playing some cards or something, just to spend so much time to make the time go faster, so the rain maybe gets stopped. But the rain continued all day, and even later tonight. But then, later that evening, around 9 p.m., they heard a knock on the door. And Derek and Discord said, who could this be at this time of hour? And Red Sparks just answered back, I have no idea. Maybe some pony lost or something. So Radar went up to the door and opened. And surprised to see her, she saw a mare or a pony with a brown coat, brown mane, an orange coat. She was soaked in wet of the rain. She asked if she could come in. She has been lost in town. She has nowhere else to go. Because she has no money to stay in the hotel, and her parents just said, come in. And she wasn't that old. She was about late teens, early 20s. This word believed that she was maybe like 25 or 22 or something. And her name was actually Astro. But the first thing they saw on her right eye, or right face, had 3 claw marks. And they was surprised even to see that it had scars at her eye. But they didn't mention them because they thought maybe it's going to be a bit sensitive topic for her. So they helped her to dry off the wet, to be dry again. He gave her some food, and afterwards she got tired. Apparently, she has been walking all day in the rain to find any shelter but most where she found, no other pony would let her in, because she had the scars and she had no money to pay for the rent or any room. So they had often, or most of the rooms were either taken, or hotels were either occupied for other guests and not no rooms. So, but unfortunately for even this court family, they had no spare room. But then, Black Claw said, "You can take my room, I can sleep on the couch." "Are you sure?" said Discord. "Yeah, I'm sure, I'm absolutely sure. You can take my room." And from answer just that, Astro looked at Black Claw and smiled. Radar took with Astro to her room, and apparently just after she went laying down to bed, it took her just like a second before she went fall asleep. And Radar told her that it's to his parents. "Poor thing, she must be so tired." "Yeah, apparently," said Radar. "I am not so wondering what the scars are meant for. Even I cannot say it, but she seems a bit different in a way." "Oh, how do you say that?" said Black Claw. "I don't know. She seems a bit odd, but at the same time kind. I don't know. I don't know what to say, but well, I think she seems nice anyways," said Black Claw. And the early next morning, the rain had stopped, and Discord and Red Sparks had left for their works, and even Radar had left early because she had also some work to make. And since Blackclaw had his work at the local hospital a little bit later, so he stayed behind just to make sure that Astro woke up in safe as she had some breakfast and that she needs to be more comfortable. Around 7 p.m. a.m. he waited to wake up. Then at 7:30 a.m. she was awake, and she felt so rested. She asked where the rest of his family was. Then he explained that they were at work, and she asked why she is home. He said that his work didn't start for until 8, and that he wanted to stay behind just to make sure that she felt comfortable, that she had some breakfast, and if you want to talk to someone, some pioneer, just some company. And that made her start to blush. And while they were eating breakfast, even Blackclaw had already eaten his breakfast as well, but he decided to eat some more just to keep her company. At the first they were quiet, but then Blackclaw looked at her and saw the scars, and he tried not to look at them, but then Astro said, "You're looking at my scars, aren't you?" "Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. It's okay. But may I ask how I got them?" "Well, I have to say that it was an accident, actually, more. I was trying to protect some children last year. They were attacked by some timber wolves." "Timber wolves?" "Yeah, in at least 2 of them. And I used all my strength and speed I had, tried to defend them off and to make them run away, tried to chase me rather than children. And that plan actually worked. I managed to fool one of the Timberwolves, jumping right from a tree and jump aside, but Timberwolves didn't have the time and right in the tree and fall to pieces. That was a good plan. Yeah, I thought so too, but then the other one caught me around the corner and scratched my face and I fell to the ground. But then other Pegasi fall from, I think it was a Wonderbolts, just fly down and managed to save me before it happened. I spent at least a couple of days at the local hospital, but after that, nothing. Do you not have any family to go to? No. No siblings, no parents, nothing. My parents died 2 years ago in a fire accident. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So, you have been traveling around by yourself for those past years? In fact, I have. But didn't you have any friends you can stay with or no? Most of my friends even had left or got married or moved to other cities and I didn't spend serious much of them. Oh. Well, you're welcome to stay here as long as you want. My parents wouldn't mind that. Are you sure? Positive. In fact, Black Claw did lie because he had already asked your parents about this earlier before she woke up. And they told her that she allowed to stay there as long as she wanted. In fact, this was that after he came home, he was going to make another room appear as a guest room just for her. And Black Claw then asked if she maybe wanted to follow him to the hospital to see when he works. And since she had nothing else to do, she said yes. So Black Claw used his powers to teleport them both to the hospital. And during that day, she saw that Black Claw was more different from the other stallions or Draconicus or other creatures he's seen. He always used his powers to make the other villains and fools happy. Even most of them were not either scared or, but then he used his powers to make things appear middle of nowhere, like chocolate milk or even some kind of candy, anything. And even after work, she told Black Claw that she was very impressed of his powers and that he used them only to make others happy. Well, he said to her, well, I only use my powers then to help others. Even my father was, well, I know, I heard the stories about him before, said Astro. Yeah, and I didn't want to make the same mistake as him did, what he did. But now I have so many great friends, they all have been there for me, so I want to help others, to spread this happiness to other ponies, especially children. Because one day I want my own family. Even my sister had her own family by now, and I just want to be happy as well. And Astro couldn't just not stop smiling and blushing at when he talked about it. Because the one thing she also wanted the most was her own family. But she had never found the right stallion for her. Because even she wanted to settle down, to start a family, but at the same time she had felt she was very shy and didn't talk about much about her past or anything. For most of the couple of weeks afterwards, Black Claw and Astro had become very good friends, and even had started some. Black Claw had even started to have some feelings for Astro, and Astro had the same thing for Black Claw. But at the same time, he was so much too shy to even tell her about it. And one day when he was going to ask her or even tell her, he saw that she was talking to another stallion. And that was actually one of his friends. And they were actually laughing. And he thought, oh, she had fallen from her friends instead of running from me. And then he just teleported back home to his own room. And Astro tried to talk to him about if something was wrong, but he said, no, nothing's wrong. But Astro could actually sense that something was wrong. And she wanted to tell them if something was wrong, that they could talk. But Black Claw said, no, nothing is wrong. But then, a few days after that, Black Claw saw the stallion with Astro, but this time they were just talking. And what he can hear what they're talking. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that you gave me that idea for the date for my girlfriend. She will love it. Thanks. And Astro said, I'm just there to help my friends. That's all. So Black Claw realized all he's thinking that his friend was actually dating, was not dating Astro. That he had another girlfriend and that he had asked Astro for help for a special date with his girlfriend. And he felt like an idiot. Why would he think that Astro dated one of his friends? But he realized even if it was true, he would accept that. But after that his friend had left, Astro went up to Astro and told her what about his feelings. And he was prepared to teleport right after she said that she was not interested the same way. But in fact, then she jumped up in his arms and kissed him. He said that she loved him as well. And then he asked if she would like to go out with him. Right there, right now. And she said yes, and he actually took her to a meadow right outside town and make a picnic to appear. And for a moment there, he felt the more happier than ever he had in his entire life. For most of that day, they had spent so much together, and his parent was more happier to see that he had a new girlfriend. Even his old one, Sunny Star, still was a very good friend to him. Even he told Sunny Star about this, and she was just happy that he had found his new special song poem. And this relationship, well, it was something special because it took at least 6 months after the first date that he actually proposed to Astro. And Astro said yes at the first day. And Astro, she had never been so happier in the entire life than when Black Claw proposed to her. But the wedding, well, it wasn't not going to happen for the next year because it was a matter of questions to handle first, like prepare for the wedding and where it's going to be held, how many guests are going to be there, and who's going to be what, who's going to be the bridesmaid, the best man, the ring bearer, and it was a lot of things to take care of first. And actually, Radar had been asked to be Astro's bridesmaid, and she accepted it. And this court could never be more happier to be a father-in-law again to Astro. And Sunny Flare had been asked to be Black Claw's best man, and which she accepted, even she was a mare, but well, they would have then they call it as best mare instead, but it was the same thing. And one of Radar's daughters, Ice Cream, became the ring bearer. And they had even asked Twilight if she could perform the ceremony, and she did. And after this wedding, it was a big party. Both Applejack, Rainbow, and even Pinkie Pie had organized the entire party, and it was a big one. It lasted almost the entire to midnight, and every other guest was very much happy. And later, they celebrated their honeymoon in Crystal Empire for the next 3 weeks. And just barely 2 years later, Astro told Black Claw that they were going to be parents soon. And to how that happened, he took it as a very much surprise, but he was actually excited to be a parent. And the day came when they had 3 daughters of their own. And they even had the same chaotic powers as him and sister and as a father. But they had not the same problem to take care of, well, as using the chaotic power. And that was how Black Claw and Astro found their true love and got a big family together. The end.